Now we are going to talk about viral diseases, and the three viral diseases that we are going to take into consideration are, first one is the simple common cold that you get, you sneeze, running nose, common symptom that often comes with the onset of winters and otherwise too that occurs. The second one is a little bit dangerous one, that is swine flu, and the third one is the dengue fever. So we are going to talk about these three viral diseases. You know that what a virus is, what is its composition. It is made up of the either RNA or DNA. The genetic material is responsible for the viral action which it carries once it comes in contact with the body cells. Over here we are going to talk about the disease, the causative virus behind it, and what are the symptoms that the disease would show and how we can prevent it. So the first one is common cold. I need not to get into details of this because every one of us has suffered from this. Now, it won't be a single case around you to whomsoever you would talk that he or she might not have suffered this common cold viral disease that is characterized by running nose, itching in the nose, and there is a sort of headache, and the virus responsible for this is rhinovirus. How it is spread? Viruses are highly contagious. They could be spread from the aerosols which come when somebody sneezes or coughs, and those droplets when come in contact with the person who is not infected can take up the infection. So this is how common cold occurs. You have to remember that it occurs by rhinovirus because it is very common, so I am not discussing in detail about it. The second one is swine flu. Name suggests that it has something to do with pigs, and the virus which is responsible for this swine flu is a common influenza type of virus, and the virus is H1N1. Okay, it was discovered in around 1920s in the pigs, and from pigs it started spreading out, and then it is a contagious disorder, highly contagious disorder. It is a respiratory disorder. So swine flu, the virus responsible for this particular disease is going to target the respiratory system, where the problem would be similar to influenza that occurs and somewhat similar to the bird flu, and those who are regularly consuming pork, they are at high risk of getting the swine flu. And once it comes into the epidemic sort of condition, it is easily transmitted by aerosols which are released by sneezing or coughing. Then it becomes airborne. So this is an airborne disorder which becomes contagious, and how it is characterized, the patient will have certain bouts of fever. Okay, the feverish condition would be there, body pains would be there, there would be running nose and influenza sort of condition, but this has to be diagnosed in a good time, and the swine flu often leads to fatal conditions. So one has to make sure that if the persistent fever is there, high fever, how much? This much high, 102 104 degree Fahrenheit, this much degree fever is there and it is persistent, so one must get himself or herself diagnosed for swine flu. Okay, conditions are similar to the respiratory disorder, otherwise influenza, but the temperature is quite high. The body is highly feverish in this much range of temperature, so one should get it diagnosed. And what are the ways in which swine flu can be prevented? Once the epidemic is in the scene that swine flu is spreading out rampantly, so one should not consume pork first of all. Secondly, the one who is suffering from swine flu should be isolated, and one must contain the diseased person, and secondly, hygienic conditions should be maintained in order to keep the virus at bay from getting in contact with the healthy individuals. What about dengue? Okay, this disease dengue is otherwise known as breakbone fever. Okay. Now this is so common that you very well know that it is caused by a mosquito bite. Which is the mosquito? It is Aedes aegypti. Now how can you diagnose that someone is suffering from dengue? The person who is suffering from dengue would show feverish conditions, continuous feverish conditions, and there would be rashes on the body. There would be vomiting which could give out blood. Okay. Nausea type feeling, joint pains is seen. Now, I am saying that it is caused by Aedes aegypti. Bite of Aedes aegypti enables the entry of a flavivirus which is responsible for causing the dengue fever. Okay. The category of virus which causes dengue fever in the human beings is a flavivirus. It is an RNA virus responsible for the hemorrhage condition even inside the body. Okay, you might have heard that people who suffer from dengue, their platelet count decreases. Okay, and because of that platelet count decrease, later on hemorrhage condition occurs and it is fatal as well. Because of the conditions which are not hygienic, which are not taking care of human standards of hygiene required, there are human dwellings where the site of mosquito growth is quite prevalent. Okay, such are the hygienic conditions that mosquitoes breeding grounds are seen everywhere, and this mosquito bites. It is responsible for other diseases as well, chikungunya and spread of Zika virus as well, but this particularly spreads this breakbone fever. And how it can be diagnosed, you get to know that if the person is having skin rashes, feeling vomiting, having a feeling of vomiting, is having joint pains, then somewhat it is dengue. Okay. Now, what are the treatments for these diseases? As I told you, these are caused by viruses, and viruses cannot be treated with antibiotics. So, in the acute cases, one condition is that because the body has been compromised to a great level, so intravenous fluids are given. That is one line of treatment. Otherwise, some cases are to be provided with antiviral treatments, so that whatever loss has been incurred by the body is recovered quickly and the immune system is brought back into its original condition, so that it can fight the viral action. So, these three viral diseases you have to keep in mind. You have to remember their causative agents, the viruses which are responsible for causing them, how they are spread out, the diseases that are occurring, how they spread out, and what are the preventions that could be taken so that the disease does not spread. Okay. So, with this we come to the end of topic viral diseases.